Welcome back to The Lost Journeys and to the third season of the hit TV show Lost. If you are new here, I can summarize that this video series is about the journeys done by the characters on the island, as well as analyzing various stuff from the show. You can also check out the previous videos on this channel. Season 3 begins with a shocking twist of the others living in this colorful island community. This is the Barracks, and before we start with the Season 3 premiere, we need to figure out the puzzle that is this place. This vast location will be seen in Season 3, 4, 5 and 6. And in the show, this place exists in 3 phases. Phase 1, the Dharma days, existing from the 70s to the Purge. Phase 2, the Others phase, a post-Purge phase, when the Others took over the houses. This existed up until 2004. And Phase 3, Abandoned phase. This starts from Season 3, Episode 15, Left Behind, when the Others abandoned the Barracks. It was briefly taken over by the Losties in Season 4. Even the cinematography and set dressers show the drastic difference from the brightly colored heydays to the abandoned days. The Barracks faced changes, and I'll explore that. Therefore, I have made 3 maps of the Barracks, 1, 2 and 3. But you might ask me, why even make a map? Didn't we get maps of the Barracks on the show? Yes, we did, but you'll soon see what kind of a problem we got. You have the Dharma cabling map in Season 3. Later we got the maps seen in the bonus features on the DVDs and Blu-rays, such as this one from Season 3, and this one from Season 5. In the Season 5 Dharma Initiation Kit, we got this colorful map of the Barracks. But in Season 5, we also had this map in the security office. And we also have to factor in the visuals, how things we see on screen in Season 3 through 6 and things that don't match up with each other. It's quite a puzzle. The show used Camp Erdman in Oahu, Hawaii to shoot the Barracks. The maps we see on the show are based on the exact layout of those houses. The first map we saw of the Barracks, which was this, the Dharma cabling map, is replicating the housing complex. Here we have the 3 clusters of houses, very small homes where we see most of the action. The playground over here, the gazebo over here, the roads are the same. There's also this blank spot on the map. Something is here, since the map points to a DC panel with washer, lights, pumps, and 2 other words that are shortened down, refrigeration and I guess reception. This area is blank, and the map is erasing this part in real life, the highway and the buildings over here. Should you therefore consider this map to be complete? That there's only 3 clusters of houses in the Barracks? Well, that doesn't match up with what we see on the show. And in Season 5, we have this map that includes a 4th cluster of houses. This map is seen in the background in some shots, but set photographer Mario Perez took a better picture of it as a promotional still, and it's also featured in the Lost magazine. So what's up with this 4th cluster of buildings? It wasn't until I went to Hawaii myself that I understood what this area was. This area over here. We see it for the first time in the 5th season. These houses over here. This area is not on the Dharma cabling map. This is where we have the infirmary with its distinct round entrance shape, this office with the Dharma symbol, the processing center, and these tiny bungalows with stairs. Maybe we should retroactively fit these houses with the already existing clusters of houses seen on the Dharma cabling map? Maybe? This is what they try to do with the map in the Dharma Initiation Kit. It's secondary material, not seen on the show, and the show is the true canon, so I won't take it as seriously as I do with these maps seen on the show. And to be frank, neither should you. It's really bad. Honestly, I think we should erase this map from Lostpedia, but that's another issue. Let's see what this map says. They say that this is the infirmary. Wait, what? This house? This is plain wrong. If we just ignore the fact that these 2 buildings look nothing alike, we can't look past the fact that this is Pierre Chang and his family's house. How can it be an infirmary at the same time? I mean, come on. This house will later be Juliet's house, something that this map from the production crew of Lost confirms. So calling this the infirmary is a major oversight, and obviously made by someone who didn't pay attention. Okay, let's take the next house. They call this the school. Come on, that's another major oversight. This is not the school. I think the guys who made this map just called this the school because the playground is here. But this is the LaFleur house.
Could you tell me where James LaFleur lives?
That's his house right there.
Thanks.
We see this time and time and time again. And it didn't transform into a school either after the incident because the house is still the same when Sawyer visits it 30 years in the future. This is not the school. The next one is the cafeteria. We only see it twice and we only see the interior. The closest thing of a placement is the direction Hurley is heading after getting food here, but it doesn't give us much. The interior is the same reused one they used for the school, the lab, the processing center, the rec room and so on. So yeah, the map can be correct in saying that this building is the cafeteria, but I have my own theory on where it is and it's not here, but we'll come back to that. The next one is the rec room, and that one is the only one I 100% agree with. This is the rec room. We get a few indications from the show on its location, one being the direction Horace and James go after he's been in the rec room, but the most telling clue is when Kate looks out of the window and sees the others getting ready to leave. She looks out into a cluster of houses and it is this area over here she looks based on the surrounding houses and area. The next one is the Welcome Center. These two buildings look nothing alike. The Welcome Center doesn't look like any of the small barracks we see here. The Welcome Center is a 2-story high building next to this long building over here and on the opposite side of this building with a prominent front porch. This map can say that the Welcome Center is here, but the area looks nothing alike. The last building is the security office. We never see the outside of this building. Every time we see people enter it, it's through these stairs. So it could be here, but I have a different theory on where it's located, based on character movements in season 5. Therefore I'm putting aside this map and focus on these two that were present in the show. In my opinion, the blank spot over here is the 4th cluster of buildings. But there is more. We have some additional buildings that we need to address. In the overview shot of the barracks from the season 3 premiere, the VFX department added some houses that are not present in the map nor in Camp Erdman. These houses don't exist, but we have to address them. We can possibly deduce that a lot of the jungle area near the barracks are obstructing some houses, lakes and so on. After all, the barracks are surrounded by a solid fence as well as a lot of grass fields that are not visible in this overview shot. Some things we see, some things we don't. To make a fan map I was going to use for this video series, I needed to combine all these contradictory pieces and put them together in some sensible way. That includes these buildings over here that have been digitally inserted. In addition to that, we have 2 more buildings in the background here that are much higher and behind some of the forest. We'll see a more elevated area behind the barracks in Follow the Leader when Hurley treks up here to join up with the rest. But in real life these houses are not here. We have to consider the 4th cluster of buildings on the other side of the highway, and we have other stuff to cover, such as the boathouse and the river, which is not present on this map. So this was my solution. Here's the map for phase 1, the Dharma days, and let's start down here. The security office. This is my suggestion for the security office. This is one of the buildings that were digitally inserted in the season 3 opener. The angle is a bit wrong in that opening shot, but that's an error of the VFX department since there are no houses there in real life, and we can't even see the house when characters are moving past here. The reason for this placement comes from the times characters walk to and from the security office. There's 3 different directions, all conflicting a little bit with each other, but the first time we see the security office is a big clue. Phil and Jerry run from the security office to LaFleur's house, seen in this shot. In the next episode, they park the car here, near the gazebo, and take Said down here to the sidewalk, which is consistent with the previous episode, presumably taking him down to the security office here. The next episode and the episode after that have some conflicting information. They park the van here and take Said upwards towards the houses. And in whatever happened, Kate goes in this direction before it cuts to her going down the security office. The Kate situation could be easily explained as her going to the Welcome Center and asking where the security office is, and then going back here. But the other situation could be something else. I still think the most pressing matter is that Phil and Jerry, seeing Horace throwing dynamite, had to rush to LaFleur, no detours into other houses. The school. I'm still a bit hesitant on pointing one of these houses to be the school. It was filmed in a big building that had these types of windows and a door like this. The barracks houses are small and don't match up. I know that the interiors are already gigantic compared to the exterior of the houses. The interiors are all shot in Hawaii Film Studio, and the houses have a hallway, 2 bedrooms, kitchen, bath, and sometimes hidden rooms and basement layers. However, this door irks me a little bit. So my idea is that this long building over here is the school, and it is tied together with the cafeteria.
Fresh off the griddle. And don't forget to try the dipping sauces, they really bring out the ham.
It's the same design to the walls, since it's all part of the same filming location, so why not just combine it? Works well with the school being close to the cafeteria, right? Therefore I like the idea that the school is here and the cafeteria is here, connected to the same long building. The DC panel on this map mentions refrigeration in this area, which suggests to me that this is the freezer where the Dharma Initiative store all their meat they prepare. The infirmary. And now we come to the infirmary, and this solidified something for me. When the show aired, many fans assumed that this cluster of buildings with the infirmary and processing center was not part of the barracks, that it was near the ocean, near the dock, and outside the sonic fence. That's still a valid theory, but the infirmary has to be over here, because when Jin finds young Ben, he stops the van over here, near building 15, the one that has burned down, and he runs here to the infirmary. So the building is close by. You might ask, why didn't he park directly at the infirmary? And that is why I've added the river here. The boathouse and the river. In season 4, episode Eggtown, we see Kate bring Miles some iced tea to the boathouse. We see this location, meaning that there is a river near the barracks. I doubt Locke would move Miles to a location outside the sonic fence, far away from his reach. I mean, Hurley was walking to him with a tray. That suggests to me that the location is close, and the barracks is not really that close to the ocean. So there has to be a river in this direction Hurley is walking. And this fits with a real-life location of Camp Erdman. There is a bridge here and a very tiny stream. So I have enlarged it so that it is big enough for a small boat to pass by. And Jin was likely down here in this direction when he found young Ben. Going around the river would take much more time. He needed to bring Ben as quickly as possible to the infirmary. Therefore, stopping here, as seen in the official Lost magazine number 28, the infirmary is quite large and has its own operating room. So it's a bigger building with a distinct circular shape. We don't have any scenes of characters moving from the barracks to this administration area, because that would require the crew to block the highway and add in tons of plants, remove the light poles through CGI, and probably much more just for a few seconds of movement. So that's probably it. Additional small houses. We get a couple of unique shots outside the infirmary, including this one showing us these types of barracks. They're different from the ones at the main house clusters. They're smaller, therefore I've added some buildings. One of these houses belongs to Miles. This is where they have their house arrest. As evident from this shot, Kate looks out of the window and has direct view of the front of the infirmary. Motor pool. Over here we have the motor pool, which is consistent with all maps. So I'm not gonna talk much about it. It's here, and likely what this house in the overview shot represent, even though it doesn't look exactly like the motor pool. The 2 elevated houses. There's these 2 additional buildings over here, seen only in the CGI shot in the season 3 premiere. Could be some additional houses that were built at a later time and not added in the cabling map. It could be Pierre Chang's lab that he mentions in this episode.
The woman who was supposed to be processing you in had a baby last night. I got pulled out of my lab.
And in my opinion, this lab was later turned into Juliet's lab in The Other Woman. And this house could be the place where they shot the orientation film for The Arrow, maybe? I don't know. Let's move on to phase 2. As you see, I've added much more trees in this area. When the others took over the barracks, there was no need for a school or a welcome center. There were no Dharma employees that cooked lunch for them all. So this area was abandoned and boarded up. Maybe it was Jacob's decision, or Richard's, or Widmore's, or someone else. This area is no longer in use.
I'm sorry to say so, but I don't think we're gonna find your husband here. Maybe we ought to just head back.
There is a new house in the Phase 2 map, and it is this one over here. It's not present in the original maps, nor the faulty map in the Dharma Initiation Kit. We only see it in this one from the production crew from Season 5. This is a house that the Lost crew built because they had to blow it up in the mercenary attack on the barracks. Similarly to the house that used to be here, Building 15, that got burned down. Maybe the Dharma Initiative built this house after Dharma Van destroyed the one that was here. Phase 3 is pretty similar to Phase 2, with the only difference being that this house is now gone. And that's the barracks.
It's popcorn.
And why isn't it literature, Adam? I'm dying to
There's
know.
no metaphor. It's by the numbers, religious hokum pokum.
No metaphor?
It's science fiction. Now I know why Ben isn't here.
Excuse me?
Season 3 opens up with a book club. Ethan is here fixing the plumbing, and after the earthquake caused by the electromagnetic buildup in the Swan station, where Desmond failed to push the button in time, the plane flies into the dome of the island. The others walk outside and sees it break up. Ben sends Ethan and Goodwin away. Goodwin runs this way, Ethan runs this way. See you guys next week, where we will analyze the Season 3 premiere more deeply and take our first step to the quite exciting Hydra Island.